Blackford.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Prime Minister gave a commitment that she would treat Scotland as part of a union of equals. Yet last night, she pressed ahead with a power grab in direct opposition to Scotland's elected Parliament. The Prime Minister silenced Scotland's voice, having broken constitutional convention and plunged Scotland into a constitutional crisis. Will the Prime Minister now commit to bringing forward emergency legislation so that the will of the Scottish Parliament can be heard and, more importantly, respected?
Can I say to the right honourable gentleman that we do expect that the outcome, and it will happen, that the outcome of the whole process of Brexit is going to be a significant increase in Holyrood's decision-making power. It is not the case that this is in any way a power grab. Over 80 areas of responsibility of decision-making are going to flow direct to Holyrood. Only the SNP could say that getting 80 areas where more areas where they're going to take decisions was a power grab. If he wants to be concerned about the process that this House has followed in relation to the legislation, his real question should be why it was the Labour Party who manoeuvred last night, used procedural manoeuvres to ensure that there was no debate about the amendments referred to on Scotland.
Ian Blackford.
Mr. Speaker, I really do hope that the people of Scotland listened very carefully to what the Prime Minister said, because the reality of the situation is that powers that are enshrined under the Scotland Act in 1998 are being grabbed back by this House. And the MPs from Scotland were not given the courtesy of even debating it last night. It is a democratic outrage. The people of Scotland will not be disrespected by this Parliament. Mr. Speaker, under the circumstances, given the disrespect that's shown, I have got no option but to ask that this House now sits in private.
I'm not hearing that at this time, and I'm not obliged to do so, is my clear understanding. Order, the Honourable Gentleman. Order! The right Honourable Gentleman can resume his seat. I'll happily take advice, but I don't think I'm obliged to hear that at this time. Well, what I'd say to the right honourable gentleman is, I think the standing order requires that the matter be put, if it is to be put forthwith. Order. It might be for the convenience of the House for the matter to be addressed at the conclusion of Prime Minister's questions, and if the right honourable gentleman, who had not signalled to me his intention to do this now, order. I'm always grateful for the moral support of the right honourable lady, the member for Broxter, even when it is chunted from a sedentary position. I realise that it's done for my benefit, but I think I can handle the matter. We could have the vote now, but we could have a vote now, or it could be taken at the end. If the honourable gentleman wishes to indicate a desire to conduct such a vote now, so be it. Right.
I beg to move. I beg to move.
Well, my advice, I've had a mixed sequence of advice, is that order. This has not happened, but order. My view is that it is better for the vote to be conducted. My view is that it is better for the vote to be conducted at the conclusion of questions to the Prime Minister. No, I'm not. Order. I always admit of the maximum number of votes and divisions, as the right honourable gentleman should know from his experience in the House. But I hope that he will trust me that I know of what I speak. There can be a division, and it will be at the end of this session, not now. That is the end of the matter. The Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, might I ask...
No, I'm not debating. No, resume your seat. Resume your seat. Mr. Blackford, no, you're not moving anything. Resume your seat, young man. Resume your seat. No, Mr. Blackford, resume your seat. No, resume your seat. No, resume your seat. Mr. Blackford, I'm order. The House will have heard very clear order. Please. The House will have heard very clearly my acceptance that there can be a vote on this matter. Order. Mr. Linden, I say to you, and I say it in the kindest possible spirit, don't tell me what the procedures of this House are. I'm telling you that there can be a vote at the end of this session and not now. I'm not going to... Oh, no, Mr. Blackford, order, under the... Trying to get it under the... Should I ask him to withdraw? Order, resume your seat, Mr. Blackford. Under the power given to me by Standing Order number 43, in light of the persistent and repeated refusal of the right honourable gentleman to resume his seat when so instructed, I order the right honourable gentleman to withdraw immediately from the House for order for the remainder of this day's sitting. He is so in... Right, he won't. Right, well, we'll have to have the vote. Very well. The pretend national liberation struggle. I'm back. Order. Order, Mr. Jail Wardener. You're a very jocular fellow, but you're a little overexcitable today. Calm. Long time to go. I say order. I say only to the House, order! I say only to the House, what a pity, because there are Scottish National Party members of Parliament who had questions on the order paper. And as colleagues know, I always like to get to the end of the order paper. They would have had their chance, and they've lost that chance by their own choice. Mr. Luke Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With the amount of people leaving, it feels like one of my after-dinner speeches.
Will be helpful to the member.
Move on to question 4, Bruce Crawford.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. To ask the First Minister whether she provide an update on the impact of the EU withdrawal bill on Scotland.
First Minister.
Well, the most immediate impact is that the UK Government this week, for the first time since the establishment of the Scottish Parliament, decided to press ahead with legislation on devolved matters without the consent of this Parliament. In doing so, it has taken an unprecedented step and overturned the rules of our constitutional arrangements, which have never before been broken in the history of devolution. The fact that the overwhelming vote in this Parliament was casually cast aside in just 15 minutes in the House of Commons without any debate and without a single Scottish MP having the opportunity to speak, in my view, demonstrates beyond all doubt the utter contempt the Tories have for devolution and for the interests of the people of Scotland.
Bruce Crawford.
I thank the First Minister for her answer. Does she agree with me that the Tories never wanted devolution in the first place? That their latest democratic outrage proves that they are prepared to undermine devolution purely to suit Tory party needs, regardless of the consequences for Scotland? And does she also agree that Ruth Davidson's Tories will pay a heavy price for supporting this naked power grab of devolved responsibilities?
First Minister.
I think it's been demonstrated beyond any doubt that the Tories can't be trusted with devolution. They cannot be trusted now or ever with the Scottish Parliament. The Tories campaigned against devolution 20 years ago. We now know, of course, that Ruth Davidson was furious at the vow, suggesting more powers for this Parliament. So they didn't even want this Parliament to have extended powers. Of course, the architect of the vow today has said that he now supports independence. So disgusted is he at the power grab of the Conservatives. The fact of the matter is the Tories are trying to take powers away from this Parliament without the consent of this Parliament. They're doing it in areas that matter: fishing, agriculture, trade, environmental protections, consumer protections, food safety. These are issues that matter. It is simply not acceptable for the powers of this Parliament to be constrained for up to 7 years without our consent. That's what the Tories thought they could get away with this week. Well, it turns out they can't get away with it, and I think they're going to pay a very, very heavy political price indeed, and they will thoroughly deserve to.